Hey guys, Rob here with 3D Printscape. Last week I showed you how to connect BTT Smart Filament Sensor to the main board. I have the SKR Mini 2.0, so that's what I used as an example, but it would work for any of them that have the filament detection ports on them. This week I'm going to show you how to connect it to the TFT35. The actual physical install part is about the same. You're really just connecting one cable. You still have to update a couple things on the firmware, and then we have to update the config for the actual TFT35. So we'll break this video into a couple sections. The first part would be the physical install. Then we'll go ahead and go over to the computer, go through all the firmware changes we need to make, come back over to the printer, push those changes to the printer itself, and then go ahead and do a couple tests. If you have any questions during the process, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks. So as far as tools go, we just need an Allen wrench to go ahead and take off the TFT35. So we'll go ahead and do that first. If you're going to be connecting the filament sensor just here and kind of letting it hang, you won't need anything else except for maybe some zip ties if you're actually cleaning up the cables. If you're going to be printing a mount for this sensor, then you'll want to make sure you print that and kind of put it in line. In this example, I'm not going to print the mount just because I plan on doing a video coming up soon where I'm converting from the Bowden to direct drive system, and that's going to change all of it. And then at that point, I'm going to get a mount that kind of sits right here on the back, and then the filament will feed straight down into that and then into the direct drive system. So that's my plans. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we want to go ahead and take out these two screws here, just so we can get to the back of the TFT35. And then there's going to be a port that's meant for your filament break or filament sensor. Alright, now that we got the board off, we're going to see a port right here, which is for filament detection. We're just going to go ahead and plug the sensor into that. So the cable here that comes with the smart sensor has two different types of adapters. One is a 3-pin, one is a 4-pin. We're going to take the 3-pin and go ahead and plug it into the board. We're not going to plug the 4-pin into the sensor yet because we got to run the cable. So once this is plugged in, we can go ahead and flip this over, kind of feed this through the back a little bit just to get out of the way. And then go ahead and mount this back in place. Alright, now that that's done, we'll go ahead and turn the printer around and kind of feed the cables. So we want to make sure that the cable is not going to get caught by the build plate. So we have a couple options here. We can just kind of feed it under here and then bring it up and over so that it's in place, which I'm not a huge fan of. Or we can go ahead and feed it through here, similar to the rest of those cables, and then bring it back out the side here. So basically it'll come through like that and then up. So let's go ahead and do that. Because I got this tray here, I've got to kind of work around that a little bit, but we'll just go ahead and feed this through. Alright, so once we got it to about this point, we have a couple options. We can go ahead and take off this bottom, kind of feed the cable through. We just have to remove this one screw here and just slide it in, so that's what I'm going to do. The other option would be to kind of just let it hang underneath, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Alright, so what we're going to do here is just remove this one screw. I went ahead and zoomed out a little bit. So this is a screw we're removing. I wanted to make sure you can see it. So just go ahead and take that out. Now we can kind of move this around a little bit. We'll just kind of slide the cable in as such and then feed it through so that it comes out here with the rest of the cables. And then once that's done, we will go ahead and put this screw back in. Alright, now that that's done, we can go ahead and flip the printer back over. And then you have our cable kind of running out this side here. If you're going to be keeping it this way, you're going to want to kind of feed it through with the rest of these cables. But you will have some issues potentially if you're trying to print tall things if you don't leave enough slack, which is why I want to get a mount that'll either sit like right here so the filament will come through if it's going to a direct drive, or one that kind of replaces this arm and has the filament sensor mounted off here. There are a couple of good options. I'll try to link to those in the description below. So just letting it kind of hang on here, I'm not a huge fan of it. But I will go ahead and do that as an example, just so that we can walk through the process and actually show you how it works running. All right, so now let's go ahead and turn this printer again a little bit more. We want to go ahead and pull this tubing out here. So push in on this. And then if you have filament already ran, you're going to have to go ahead and pull it back through or just cut it. All right, now that I got the filament out, I'm going to go ahead and pull this tube back out. We're going to plug the sensor in just like so. It's going to go into one side or the other, doesn't really matter. And then it's going to go back into here. And then we're going to go ahead and connect the cable to it. And then from the physical install standpoint, that's really all there is to it. Again, I would not run it with it mounted like this. I just don't like it. I guess you could, but I would really look to print out a mount that works for your setup. It's hard to go ahead and recommend one just because there's a lot of modifications people are doing. Like I said, I would prefer one that mounts here or here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the computer. All right, guys, so there's a handful of changes we have to make here in the configuration. Most of them we already made last week, but we'll go ahead and talk about them really quick, just in case you skip directly to this video if you're only worried about the TFT35. All right, so we need to uncomment a couple things. The first thing is going to be the filament runout sensor. So let's go ahead and search for that. It's going to be right here. So filament runout sensor is going to be commented by default. You're going to want to uncomment that. You'll want to uncomment filament runout distance if it's commented. If not, you just want to change the value here from whatever it was to 7, because 7 is what they recommend for the smart sensor. And then you want to uncomment this filament motion sensor right here. Then once you got that done, you want to search for nozzle park. Oops. And then this is going to be commented out by default, the nozzle park feature. You want to uncomment this. Once you have those 4 changes made, you'll go over to your configuration advanced file. And then we need to make 2 more changes here. The first one is going to be this M114 detail. This is the biggest change between using the standard board and the TFT35. It's supposed to give the board more specific details on where the nozzle is actually at. One thing I wanted to point out here, if you are just using the board, do not uncomment this. And if you are connecting it to TFT35, which is what we're talking about here, you won't be able to use the SD slot on the actual board anymore. When you try to print from it, it starts up and then it does the line on the left where it kind of just primes everything. And then as soon as that's done, it stops. It doesn't resume. So if you see that behavior, it's from this right here. But if you're printing off of the TFT35, whether it be with the SD or USB, it works just fine. All right, and then the other thing you want to do is go to the advanced pause feature and uncomment that. All right. So this is going to be commented by default, and you would uncomment it by removing the 2 forward slashes. So you would see this. You would just take those 2 out. And then the rest of the settings under here, I leave standard. So that's all the changes we have to make. So I'll go ahead and build this. And then once that's done, from the build location, which is going to be wherever the firmware is, under .pio, build, and then your board, and then you'll see a firmware.bin. You will drop this on a blank SD card, and then put it in the board, and then power on the printer, and that'll just update it. It'll take probably 20 seconds or so. I cover all of this in the video I did on compiling custom firmware. So if you have any questions, see that video, and I'll link to it in the description below. All right, so the other thing we want to do, which isn't 100% necessary, it's just more for simplicity, is we want to go ahead and make a couple changes on the TFT35. And I did a video covering how to upgrade the firmware on that. I'll link to that in the description below. But for this, we only need to update the config.ini So we'll just go ahead and open it with Notepad or Notepad++, and then search for Runout. And then we would want to change this from 0 to 2 to indicate that we're using the Smart Runout sensor, and then make sure the distance is set to 7. By default, it is, at least on this version. I think that's not the case with previous versions, so that's the reason why I am saying go ahead and just update it. But this setting here you can change in the UI, which I'll talk about here in a minute. So then we'll go ahead and save this and then copy it to an SD card, enter it into the TFT35, start up the printer, and it will move it over. And I'll show you that process here in a second. That's all we got to do on the computer. It's just a couple changes and we'll be good to go. Alright guys, I showed you how to update the firmware on another video, so I'll link to that in the description below. It goes over the full process. But I wanted to show you how to just upload the INI file really quick. The one that we saved on the SD card, we'll just go ahead and insert it. And then turn it on. And it should come up and automatically start reading off of it. In this example, I already uploaded the data from the card, so it saw it the same and just left it alone. But if you made changes, you will see it just load really quick. I think it took all of about 2 seconds, but that was the process. So like I said, there's not much to that. It's literally just inserting the card. Next thing we want to do really quick, let me zoom in on the touchscreen a little bit better. Alright, next thing we want to do is make sure our sensor is on and set to smart. So let's go into menu, settings, feature, and just scroll down. You should see filament sensor set to smart. That's what you're looking for. If it's not set to smart, just go ahead and touch that, switch it from off or on, or whatever the case may be, over to smart, and then just go ahead and close out. Alright, so now let's go ahead and kick off a print, and then I will show you what happens if you cut the filament. Alright guys, I started up a quick print and cut the filament and let the filament run through the sensor, and it triggered the filament runout as expected. If we go ahead and run some more filament through, which I'll do really quick, we should see it start. Now Alright guys, so it's important here that we get rid of the filament that's in there first, unless you're going to have a gap. So if we go into more, go up to extrude and go to unload, we'll just unload all of it to the point where we can pull everything that's there back through. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull this through the rest. Be careful if you're doing that you don't push up or down on the Z-axis, because the print won't know about it, and if you push down, you're going to end up knocking into the print that you had started. If you push up on it on accident, you're going to end up leaving some sort of gap. Alright, so I fed that back through, so let's go ahead and load a little bit, just to act as a purge. And you want to keep going until you start to see the filament come out cleanly. Alright, now that we've done that, I'm just going to hit back, and resume. And that would resume our print. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Alright, so that's the process to connect the Smart Filament Sensor to your TFT35. It wasn't much different than connecting it to the main board. A lot of the main things you still have to do, such as updating the firmware, etc. The one part where we updated the INI file and sent it to the TFT35, we could have skipped that step. We could have just went into the UI, changed the filament from off or on to auto, and then that would have pretty much done the same thing. But I guess this does tell us for sure that it is set up, and that the distance is also set correct, because you want to make sure that that's set to 7mm just to take full advantage of what the Smart Filament Sensor is capable of. One other thing I'd like to point out is I had some issues after I enabled the M114 detail in the configuration, where if I was to print off of an SD card on the board itself, after it runs the lines, it kind of just stops and then it doesn't resume. It just has resume on the screen. Sorry, it has pause on the screen, but you can't actually do anything. If you pause it, it will pause, but you can't resume it. So switching over to actually printing off of the TFT35 works fine. If you're wanting to print off of the board, you're really going to want to just connect the sensor to the board and use the simulation mode. But printing off of a USB stick is much easier for me anyway, so to me it didn't matter. Like I said before at the beginning of the video, I would recommend not leaving this mounted how it is. I would mount it either here if you're going to move to like a direct drive system, or over here if you're going to be keeping it how it is. I will add a link to both of those files in the description below. Alright, so if you guys have any questions or would like to see any other videos, go ahead and leave a comment below. Thanks.